Hi, this is Hannah from Tech Advisor, and today I am unboxing the Oppo A5 2020. So let's get started. Okay, so basically I'm sure there's some of you who are watching who are thinking, wait, isn't this phone already out? And it did come out in other markets towards the end of last year. However, it did this week launch with O2, so it's at a lower price in the UK of £169.99 and from other retailers around £179.99. So this version comes with 3 gig of RAM and 64 gig worth of storage. Obviously in other markets you can get higher versions of that. But yeah, let's take a look what's inside here. So here's the phone itself, if I can get it out. There we go. So here it is. So this version is the mirror black, quote unquote. You can also get it in dazzling white, make of that name what you will. This comes with a 6.5-inch display and a water drop notch. Now, water drop notches, it really comes down to personal preference. I personally don't mind them. I prefer that to, say, a pop-up camera because I feel like you might have more chance of damaging it. And I really don't think that it interrupts the whole display. You still get a really good view when you're watching movies or whatever it is that you need to watch. On the actual phone itself, you've got the USB-C charger, a headphone jack. You've also got room for a dual SIM and a micro SD. And yeah, I think that's the majority of it. You've got a fingerprint scanner on the back. You've got a quad camera there. And you've got a selfie camera on the front there, which is obviously where the notch is. In the actual box itself, you have a case, which is very, very handy because, you know, obviously that can cost a little bit of extra money. The phones also come fitted with a screen protector. So that's just really handy because I don't know about you, when I'm fitting them myself, it can be a bit awkward and they can end up cracking. In the rest of the box, you get the charger, USB-C, and some headphones, and then the standard user manual, and of course the little pin to help put your SIM in. So while we've got that all sorted, I'm going to set up this phone now and we'll chat a little bit more about the specs and what it can do and the camera. So see you in a minute. Okay, so I've gone through all the setup. Now let's clear everything away. Hey, look at that magic. Right, so here we go. Let's have a look at this phone here. So this runs on Android 9 and ColorOS 6.1. If you're thinking about getting a phone with Android 10, this isn't really the one because I would say that Android 10 is really only coming to flagships first, so it may be a while if ever it comes to there. But you know, with the OS that it runs on, it's still pretty up to date. So really, for the price point, you're still getting quite a lot for your money there. So this is the interface. It's quite simple to be able to navigate, be able to have a look at everything that you've got on there. It's not overloaded with lots of different apps, which is quite nice. I quite find that when I'm, you know, a lot of the other phones will come with things that you'll never use, and that's not really a problem with Oppo phones, which is really, really good. Moving on to the actual camera. So basically, we've got a quad camera. So the main thing to know is that the main camera itself is a 12 megapixel lens. You also get an ultra wide lens on there. The other two, I actually reviewed the A9 2020, which also came with a quad camera, and I felt that the other two lenses, you didn't really know their use as much, so it's more for like, you know, like boasting about spec, I would say. But regardless, if the camera is anything on that is anything to go by, then this one should still perform reasonably well for the price point of the phone. You also get a night mode on the camera. Now this was one of the things that I noticed on the A9 2020 as being really, really good. Again, considering that it was a cheaper phone, for reference, the A9 is around just under the 250 mark. You got a really good range of colours and stuff like that. Obviously this is not something that we've tested and it's bright daylight right now, so it's hard to know. But it'd be interesting to see how that performs. So You also get the front selfie camera, which is 8 megapixel. Again, not the greatest, but you're not getting a flagship phone here, so it's still reasonable for what you're going to expect. Now, the main thing I want to talk about here on this phone and what really impressed me on the A9 2020 is the battery life. So this phone comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is massive. It lasts about, when I used the A9 2020, it lasted about 2 days, and that was using it with social media, having a look at videos and things like that. And even when it got down to like the last few percentages, it still managed to last. I kept being like, when is this phone going to die? And it just didn't. And that's really, really good. However, it is worth noting that this does not come with fast charging, so it can take a little while to charge. Obviously something to bear in mind if you're running low and you need it going quickly. You can of course change it to the usual power saving mode should you wish to. So it's also, this phone runs on the Snapdragon 665 processor, which is decent mid-range processor. Again, hard to know from the first look how fast it performs and how it tests under high stressful things. So if you're gaming or if you're watching videos, it's hard to know from the initial look, but it should perform decently in theory. It also comes with a game space boost performance thing. Now again, this was something that I tested as well on the A9, and I personally didn't notice a lot of difference when turning this on. But I mean, it can depend on what type of game that you're using, and if mobile gaming is really your thing, this may be a massive plus to consider with the phone. So yeah, I mean, these are my initial thoughts. I'm actually spending some time with the A5 over the next few weeks to be able to use it every day and actually see whether this killer battery lives up. It should do, but always worth a try. I'll be intrigued to see how the camera performs and whether 12 megapixel really is a super, super downgrade. But I mean, all things considered and from first initial thoughts, I'm pretty hopeful that this will be quite a decent, affordable phone from Oppo. It looks really nice as well. I think that's definitely worth mentioning, considering the price point. It looks a lot, more expensive than it actually is, which is quite nice if you're not willing to drop, the price of a holiday on your phone. And yeah, so basically look out for the review that will be on TechAdvisor within probably a few weeks, and I'll be able to give you a more detailed rundown on the specs and the performance and how that works. To reiterate on UK pricing, from O2 it's $169.99, from other retailers it's $179.99. And I guess that's it from the Oppo A5 2020. So please make sure to like and subscribe. Let us know what you're looking for in the review, if there's anything in particular, and I can look out for that while I'm reviewing the phone. And stay tuned for our next video. Bye.